This is the Samsung Galaxy A52 5G. Been using it for a little while now, and this is Samsung's latest as of this year in 2021, offering in their mid-range pack. And yeah, I've been using it. I'm gonna give you my first impressions of it, man. Yes, for a little while I've been having it since I did my unboxing, go watch that video. But how has my experience been with it? So I'm gonna give that to you, my first impressions. There's gonna be a lot more testing to do in the full review. But so far, it's been quite interesting and it's been quite telling how using this phone, it pretty much indicates how the mid-range market has really stepped up and really changed. This is the Galaxy A52 5G. Let's go. Hi, Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy videos like this and you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team Tier Less, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. First, I've got to give a big shout out and thank you to Vodafone UK for supplying the Galaxy A52 5G for testing and review. Check the links in the description below for all the latest deals on the A52 5G on Vodafone UK. As per usual, the support for them on this channel when it comes to these handsets for testing and loan has been great, so definitely go check them out. Let's start from the outside and work our way in with the build and the design. And again, looking at it on paper, it's quite decent. You've got Gorilla Glass 5 at the front and you've got a plastic back with IP67 water and dust resistance, which you don't see at this price. So that's something that's going for it when it comes to the build quality and the design, which is great to see. I've got this color, which is awesome blue, and I'm using it, and it does kind of have like a glossy finish to the rails as well. But it is good to see that you've got a 3.5mm headphone port and dual speakers again at this price. And one of my favorites, it's got dual SIM with a hybrid SIM slot for a micro SD card slot. Kind of a burn when you look at the S21 series and what they did there. And look, although it's nice and lightweight, I just don't like how it feels. It just feels very cheap and very hollow and very plasticky. When it comes to the button placement for the power button, it's spot on. The power button is spot on when it comes to hitting it, using it to quick launch, and obviously turning the screen on and off. But I do wish that the volume rocker was on the other side or lower down, because it is a bit of a stretch. And it's something I've always said it when it comes to placement. If it's on the other side and it's symmetrical, it's something that will be much better for it, especially for the overall footprint of the A52 5G. Next, let's look at the display. Display-wise, Samsung know what they're doing, right? 6.5 inches, and it's a Super AMOLED display, 20:9 aspect ratio. It's a full high definition plus 1080p display, and you do have 120 Hertz, and it's a flat display, which is definitely a win. You've got the single hole punch at the top center, which is housed in a 32 megapixel selfie. Now, two main issues with the display are, firstly, the poor haptic feedback. The vibration motor with the haptic feedback, it's just really not good, right? And somehow, wow, it is so slow and unreliable, the optical in-display fingerprint scanner. If you just compare it to the improvement that they've done on the S21 series, this in-display fingerprint scanner is just not good at all. And it's something where I really wish they went with like a, you know, the capacitive one that's built into the power button. I really wish they did that. Last time they did that, I remember, was on the, what, S10e? Yeah, this in-display fingerprint scanner, nah, it's not cutting it. And you know, on top of that as well, the 120 Hertz, it doesn't always feel like it's actually running at high refresh rate. And I've seen it drop down where the phone really slows down even lower than 60 Hertz, where it just slows to a crawl. And this is a new phone, and I've seen it happen many times. So when it comes to the display experience, again, on paper, it feels good, it looks good, but I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if I'm fully convinced by it. One thing I am sure of is the sponsor for this portion of the video, IVC VPN. As you know, VPN, or virtual private network, is so important to have, as it guarantees you a secure internet connection and online privacy by hiding and masking your IP address, while also giving you the option and ability to bypass geo restrictions for online services that may not be available in your country. This is where IVC VPN service comes in, using a secure 256-bit encryption for the most secure connection online using the web. True internet browsing freedom by eliminating geo restrictions on websites and services from streaming platforms such as Netflix. But what really impressed me with using the IVC VPN was that you maintain a fast and smooth internet connection when online, and being able to watch some of my favorite TV shows and movies that are actually not available in the UK on streaming services such as Netflix in different regions, which I would not get access to as I'm based in the UK. You also have the ability of being able to connect up to 10 devices simultaneously at the same time with your IVC VPN account, which supports all major platforms including iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, and many more. But the best part has got to be the pricing and value. Link in the description below for the exclusive 5-year plan, which works out to be no more than $1.33 a month. And thank you to IVC VPN for sponsoring a portion of today's video. Let's look at the performance. How has it been performing? Look, specs wise, it is powering Snapdragon 750G, which does support 5G support. You've got 6 GB of RAM, 128 GB of storage, with micro SD card support and a hybrid SIM slot, which is great to see. Again, feels like a burn against the S21 series when they removed a lot of stuff. Now, I'm gonna say on paper, the performance in the real world, as I've been using it right now, is decent at best. As I've stated it before, already I've seen it just slow down to a crawl. And I mean, slow down to the crawl where it's like, it looks like it's not even running at 60 Hertz or 60 frames a second on the display. So that's something I've seen enough times for me to have noticed. So yeah, the performance to me feels decent at best. And you're really just starting to see how much it feels like they've nerfed this compared to like their flagships, which I guess so, but not feeling it when it comes to the performance. Battery, it is packing a nice battery capacity, 4,500 milliamps. It does support 25-watt fast charging. You do actually get a charger in the box, another burn to the S21 series, but it's only 25 watts, even though it supports the 25 watts. And I kind of feel okay with that. At least you get a charger in the box. There is no wireless charging. So far, when I would say for the battery life, it's been actually very good. It's been good. I'm still testing it, but I'm confident in it when it lasts me throughout the day. So I'll say the battery is winning when it comes to that side. Now, software-wise, it is running on Android 11 with Samsung's One UI 3.1. And as of late, I just feel like Samsung's monthly updates with their devices has actually been decent. It's actually been really good. I don't know about long-term for their mid-range because they don't have a good reputation there. But as of the parity between what you're getting in the S21 series, which I've been using alongside the A52 when it comes to monthly updates, it's actually been good. Now, in terms of smoothness, the 120 Hertz display actually does help, but it just doesn't, it just feels like the gulf between their flagship to here is way too big compared to what I was expecting it to, especially when you're looking at the spec sheet and what it is on paper. Let's look at the camera system. At the rear, it's a quad rear camera system. The main camera sensor is 64 megapixels, it's f1.8 aperture, you've got face detection autofocus, and you've got OIS for stabilization that's built into the sensor itself. So 12 megapixels as well, that is the ultra wide at f2.2, and then you've got 5 megapixels for the macro and the depth sensor. These two sensors, honestly, redundant. The fact that you have no zoom lens, so it's basically cropping in on the main sensor, which can go up to digital times of 10, right? And you've got 4K up to 30 frames a second on the main camera sensor, ultra wide and the selfie. And you can actually change being on the ultra wide as well as on the main while recording in 4K 30 frames a second, which is good to see. But I think because of the processor limitation, you do not get any 4K UHD 60 frames a second, which is kind of to be expected at this price point. And you do get full high definition 1080p at 60 frames a second. So for some strange reason, that's not available on the ultra wide when it comes to high frame rate at 1080p. But you've got that on the main and the selfie. So just bear that in mind when it comes to your high frame rate recording if you wanted to do that. Whew. So let's wrap this up. My conclusion for my first impressions of the A52. It's a tick box exercise. For a mid-range phone, you look at the specs, you look at what's on paper, it ticks and gets a lot of things right. But it just does not feel inspiring to use. And I get it. I know that when you get to the mid-range, it's meant to be a scaled down experience versus the flagships. But as much as it's got stuff that the flagships don't, like a headphone port, right? And also having a micro SD card and still being able to retain things like an IP67 rating. When you actually hold it and use it, this just does not feel polished. I know 5G is a priority that's being pushed, but this just does not feel polished. It doesn't feel well put together. It feels cheap and hollow, unfortunately. The haptics are not good. The performance is very, very inconsistent. I'm just not too sure. I'm gonna run it through its paces as per usual, battery charging tests, when it comes to things like the camera comparisons that I do into the full review. But so far, my first impressions of the A52 5G, I'm not enjoying it as much as I would like. that is it for me. Let me know what your thoughts are on the A52 5G. Do you have it? Do you have any other mid-range phones that you think you prefer versus it? What's your thoughts? That's pretty much my initial thoughts. Are there more to come? That's it for me, Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy videos like this, you know exactly what to do, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. I hope you're all safe during this time. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.